Welcome to another episode of More Than Books, stories from the Kanawha County Public Library. I'm your host, Stan Howe. On this program, we take a look beyond the shelves to highlight news, activities, events, and the resources available for KCPL patrons. The Cross Lanes Branch Library is one of KCPL's most popular destinations. Over 30,000 patrons visit Cross Lanes every year, making it, not counting the main branch in Charleston, the second most popular branch behind only Elk Valley. Cross Lanes is also ranked fourth in total circulation, which is the number of books, DVDs, and other items checked out by library visitors. Much of the library's popularity stems from Cross Lanes' diverse programming, which includes, among others, its Spice Club, its spring and summer gardening programs, and its year-round book sale. There's always a lot going on at the Cross Lanes branch. Our traveling correspondent, Jai Ravine, recently paid a visit to this popular branch to learn a little more about what makes this library tick.
All right, thanks so much, Jessica, for being here today. How's your day going so far?
It's going well, thank you.
Cool, all right. I recently attended a session of the Fiction Addiction Book Club that you and Aubrey put on together. Tell me how this book club got started.
Yeah, so it was actually Aubrey's idea. She wanted to create a book club that catered toward younger adults because our current book club caters more towards seniors. And she also thought it would be fun to take readers out of their comfort zones by trying different genres. And we thought one way to do that would be to give them an incentive for coming. So that's what we do. When you come, you get a little reading log, and for every meeting you attend, you get a sticker. When you fill your log, you get a coupon for $5 worth of free books from our book sale.
Nice.
Which we currently have a deal going on, and you can fill a bag of books for $5.
Awesome.
So you could get a lot of books with that.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah. How many genres have you gotten through so far, you think?
We've definitely done probably a dozen or more. We have had a couple of repeats, but we've also done like subgenres or tropes.
Right.
So.
Okay. So it's been going on for about a year or so?
About a year and a half now.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Sweet. How's the patron response been like?
It's good. We have several patrons who came to the very first meeting, and they still come to every meeting.
That's
since.
amazing.
So yeah, we have a very dedicated group.
Cool, cool. What do you enjoy most about the discussions that come up?
I think actually what I enjoy the most is that we never agree on any of the books. We always have very, nice discussions about them, but we have very different tastes. So sometimes half of us will love it and half of us will hate it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite title that you've done so far?
Well, my favorite title would probably be The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, just because he's one of my favorite authors.
Right.
But I also really liked the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and that was kind of my first introduction into fantasy.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's good.
Yeah.
How about a favorite discussion session that came up, or maybe that surprised you a little bit?
I am blanking on the author's name,
okay,
but the title was Gaudy Night.
Okay.
And I personally did not enjoy the book at all.
Right.
But we had some people who absolutely loved it.
Right.
So that was a really good discussion. That was a very divided discussion because you either loved it or hated it. There was no in between.
Right. Yeah. So that kind of gave you different perspectives.
Yeah.
On it. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Anything else you want to say about the book club?
We're always looking for more people to come join us.
Yeah, it happens, isn't it, like the first Thursday?
Yes, the first Thursday of every month at 6:30.
Awesome.
It's in the evening, so it's after work. Sometimes we have snacks and drinks, so you can pop in and just hang out.
And do you know what's coming up for November?
November's discussion is a translation. It is called The Elegance of the Hedgehog.
Nice.
So
cool.
That should be interesting.
Awesome. All right. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the anniversary that Cross Lanes Library has recently celebrated. Tell me about that.
So we have been in this current building for 25 years now, and we celebrated that with a birthday party and the unveiling of our new teen zone. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. How was that day and all the celebrations that happened? How did they go?
They went really well. We had cake and snacks,
Nice.
so you know, patrons love food.
Yeah.
And again, we unveiled the teen zone, so we had the switch set up, and yeah, it was a good day.
Gotcha. And so you've been with the library for a lot of that time, is that right?
I have.
Yeah.
It will be 15 years this December.
All right. So how did your relationship with the Cross Lanes Library start?
Well, I actually grew up in Cross Lanes. My grandmother's house is just down the road. So it started out very, very young. I used to come to the old building as a child for story times. And then as I got older, I became a volunteer here.
Awesome. So. And how was that? How was that experience being a volunteer with the library?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed working with everyone who worked here at the time and all of the patrons. And yeah, it was a really good experience. They let us, help with programs. So that was kind of my first introduction into programming.
Right.
So I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Did you help with like the summer library club stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We would help like hand out prizes and that sort of thing. So that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about being a volunteer made you want to start working here?
Again, it was really just the people, I think. It was such a nice experience. Everyone was so wonderful.
Yeah.
So actually, when the position became available, the branch manager at the time called me personally to let me know about it.
Right.
So I was like, let's go for this.
Awesome. Looking back on those 15 years, what are some things that you're most proud of that have happened?
Oh, gosh. There's been a lot of things.
Right.
But I think for me personally, the project that I'm most proud of is the Cross Lanes Compassion Closet, which, is something that started out really small. It started out with us just having feminine hygiene products accessible in the bathrooms for the middle schoolers, and now it's evolved into personal care products, snacks, all kinds of things for anyone in the community who needs it.
Right.
So I really hold that whole project very close to me.
Right. How did that project start?
Like I said, it started out very small. We just noticed a lot of kids coming in after school who would ask for little things here and there, and they would be really nervous or shy about it. So to just kind of take some of that away, we started just leaving stuff in the bathrooms.
Right.
And then more and more people noticed we were doing that, so they would start asking for things.
Yeah.
So it grew into a much bigger thing that gets utilized a lot now.
Right.
So.
And do you like take donations for that kind of
thing?
We
do. It's actually all donation based. Whether that's donation of unused products or donation of money for us to buy products, we accept both, but it's completely donation based.
Great. Awesome. Yay. If you could talk to the person that you were when you first started working here at the library now, what do you think you would say?
Get comfortable. Like I said, I was really excited when I got the job opportunity, but I never thought that I would stay here.
Right.
I started working here when I was in college, and I thought this would just be a nice job that I could work during college. And then when I was done, I had plans to be a social worker. But after I graduated, I realized that I didn't want to leave the library. So I actually went back and got my master's degree in library science, and now I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. How has your role changed over time, do you think? Or has it stayed?
Oh, no. It's definitely changed.
Yeah.
I started out part-time. Actually, my specific role was in technical services.
Okay.
So I processed new items, edited damaged items, things like that.
Right.
And then I eventually took over teen programming.
Gotcha.
And then it was just about 3 years ago that I took over the role of branch administrator.
Okay, gotcha.
So
yeah,
it's definitely evolved.
Right. And so as branch admin, what do your duties and responsibilities entail?
It's a little bit of everything. I'm basically Brittany's second in command. So
Gotcha.
if Brittany's not here to take care of something, then I try to help take care of it for her. I take care of things like scheduling. If there's a spreadsheet that needs made, I do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So a lot of executive skills, I think.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what programming are you all putting on in November and beyond here?
Yeah. So I have a few things coming up in November. We're going to be doing some taste tests, which are always
nice.
very popular.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some wood burning crafts.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to be doing some melt and pour soap crafts.
Oh, nice.
So
cool.
I'm very excited about those.
Sweet. And so you run the teen programs, right? Are they open for just teens, or are some of them like teens and adults kind of thing?
It varies.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like tweens through adults
Got you.
could attend
Yeah.
and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Yeah, tell me more about the taste test program, because I feel like it's been happening for a while.
It is.
Like
it is.
monthly.
I try to do it monthly or every other month as scheduling allows. Basically, I just pick an item. Like last month, it was cotton candy.
Oh, nice.
And I try to find as many fun flavors as I can.
Yeah.
And we come in and try every flavor. We'll rate them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have them try to guess the flavor. I'll hide it from
Nice.
them. And then we'll pick a favorite before the end of the program.
Cool. And so the teens must have a lot of fun with that.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
That's cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for being here today and
Thank you for having
being
me.
so amazing.
Thank
Congratulations on almost 15 years.
Thank you.
Here and to many more
Thank you.
with you and Cross Lanes. So, all right. We're going to take a break here and have more from More Than Books right after this. All right, welcome back to More Than Books. I'm here with Cross Lanes branch manager Brittany Addis. How are you doing today, Brittany?
Doing great.
Yeah? All right, good to see you. This is going to be the third time we've talked together on More Than Books, so it's been a lovely 3 years. All right, so I recently attended a Spice Club tasting event that you had put on, and it was very delicious and a lot of fun. Tell me about Cross Lanes Spice Club and how it got started.
Well, we got started, it was not an original idea. But it was something that I saw other libraries in, other states, bigger libraries doing, and really got my attention how they were using it during COVID, actually.
Gotcha.
When we obviously were at home, but libraries were still doing, virtual programming with it. And it was around that time I really got serious about thinking, how do we do this?
Right.
And, it was one of those things that in hindsight, once I really put my mind to doing it, I was like, I should have done this so much sooner, because it was actually very easy to put together and has been great. But yeah, we started in the beginning of 2022.
Gotcha.
Is when we first finally got it. And we've been going strong ever since.
So
every
it's been
month.
almost 2.5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And so so you've gone through, I want to say like 20 some spices.
32.
So far. Oh, 32.
We are up
Excellent.
to 32
Yeah.
unique
Yeah.
herbs and spices or spice blends that
Yeah.
we've featured at this point. We have started just recently to maybe do a little bit of repetition.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
if you've been following along since 2022, then you may see some repeats. But up till now, it's been all kinds of different unique things. We've featured everything from just your standard sage and things like that to actual whole nutmeg.
Oh, wow.
I think has been the most interesting one that we've done, because
Gotcha.
everyone gets powdered nutmeg. And so
Right.
we actually got the whole nutmeg pods, and people could
So you
try
can
that
cook
out.
with the pods as well as like
So you
grate it.
yeah.
too.
So you grate it in, because when you watch cooking shows, they always, it's what's that joke that Ina Garten says? Well, if you don't have this powdered is fine. but,
yeah.
but
ideally.
yeah, ideally, but nobody goes and buys a whole nutmeg. And so
Right.
this was that was kind of the point, is that sometimes, even though, we don't, an herb or a spice, sometimes it can be like a $4 or $5 investment on something that you don't even know you're going to like.
Right.
And so this is a way for people to try things out that maybe they wouldn't have. Try a fresh nutmeg and see if it's worth the investment. And so that was how it got started, and it's been a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And so it's like a little package with some of a sample of the herb itself. And then
so so it's about, if it's a powdered thing, it's about equivalent to a tablespoon, which is enough to do at least one, sometimes multiple. We feature 4 recipe suggestions each month.
Gotcha.
And and people can try it out and see what they think. And it's been so much fun. It's
cool.
It's one of my favorite things I do here.
Yay. How's the patron response been like?
Excellent. Yeah. Going back, I wish I had started sooner, because it's one of the things that, like, it's pretty minimal time and not hard to do at all, and it's a lot of fun, and the response from our patrons is just huge. Especially, we have people, obviously we have our regulars that come in for programs or to get books. We have a lot of people that come in because they need to make a coffee.
Yeah.
They come in and that's all they plan to do, and then they see this rack of spices and it catches their interest, and they're like, what is this? And then it's a conversation piece for us. Of course, our regulars love it as well, but it's something that really catches people's interest, and they kind of are caught off guard, like, what, you do this here in the library? And so it's been a wonderful thing for us to do.
Cool. Are you having more conversations with patrons about food and cookbooks and whatnot?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a great way to connect with people. And they'll say, oh, well, what do you think of this? How would I use this? And you can offer suggestions. And sometimes I'm really honest. I remember when we actually did lavender, which, you may not, a lot of people may not know that you can cook with lavender.
Yeah.
And, I was honest, and I said, I used to think I liked the smell of lavender, but after I packed it for 3 hours, I don't know that I'm thrilled about this anymore. Or things like that. And it's just been great to do this every month, and to get that wealth of experience, and to have those conversations, and just be able to have a real connection with patrons in a way beyond the typical library day-to-day functions.
Do you have a favorite spice that you've done?
Oh, I really enjoyed tarragon.
Oh, yeah.
That was one that I didn't expect. And then some of the spice blends that we've done. Harissa was fantastic. Yeah. And just all kinds of different ones. There's been 32 of them. So some are better than others. Some are ones that I have said I will never repeat. Just and it's not that they have a bad smell, but it's just when you work with them so much, and then your office kind of smells like that for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm always surprised that when we do it, we get so much feedback from people that oh, I tried this and it was wonderful, and this was so great, and I never would have done that, and in ways that surprised even me.
Right.
So I love it.
Cool. Actually, my partner's dad tried the turmeric cake recipe that you had, and I tried it, and it was delicious. So, yay. All right. So spices and stuff. What about fresh herbs?
Oh, yeah. So, obviously with the Spice Club, because we're packaging them up, and up until now we've been limited to dried sage or things like that. But we are working on ways to offer more fresh things, and so actually right next to you, this is a fresh sage plant. So we're in right now as we film this. We're in October, and so it's definitely sage and pumpkin and all of that. And this little plant here was actually grown here in the library.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so we have a hydroponic garden set up now. And we are We're still learning the ins and outs of it, but we are working on a way that we will actually be able to have a variety of fresh herbs available all year round, and have a way that our patrons can come in. And if, like this month, one of our recipes for Spice Club is a pumpkin soup that calls for fresh sage.
Oh.
And so you'll actually be able to come in and, and rather than spend $4 or $5 on fresh sage at the grocery store, come in and just snip off what you need. So just trying to add value in any way that we can here at the library.
That's cool. How does the hydroponic garden work, and how's it set up over?
Right.
Yeah.
So we have, the model we have is called a rise garden, and it is 3 levels, and there are pumps that there's a basin of about a 5-gallon basin of water, and the pumps circulate the water throughout the system.
Gotcha.
And then we, periodically replenish the water, and the roots, if you were to look underneath we show people all the time, there's no soil.
Gotcha.
It grows exclusively in water, and then we add nutrition to feed it, and then there are built-in lights that give it the light that it needs, because obviously we're indoors, we don't have sunlight, but we have the UV light, and so it grows in that. And we have grown all kinds of things. We've grown lettuces, all kinds of herbs. We can grow flowers. We haven't done that yet, but we actually have a tomato plant.
Oh, nice.
And we have tomatoes that grew. We weren't sure how that was going to work, because obviously we're indoors. We don't have pollinators.
Yeah.
But you can self-pollinate those things. Just a little bit of kind of jiggling them, and they can self-pollinate. We actually have some tomatoes.
Oh, cool.
So it's been really fun to see that, and patrons, it catches their eye. The kids go over and they look at it. We show them this is what the roots look like. You don't normally get to see that. And it's just been fascinating. And it's something that if it weren't here, a lot of people would never know that something like this exists.
Totally.
So this is great. They're here for, whatever reason, but just to kind of see something unexpected while they're here.
Totally. And speaking of, I know that you all also have a little fish tank. and there's it recently came about this summer, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've had a fish tank in the past over summer. Olivia, who is our children branch specialist, she has a real passion for fish and aquariums.
Gotcha.
She does that. In fact, in our outdoor garden, part of the reason that it is so prolific is that she brings her fish water with all those nutrients. And brings that and uses it to fertilize the outdoor garden.
Yeah.
So we have just a little tank here that we all kind of maintain, but it's Olivia really knows what's going on with it. And we started off with 2 fish. We let the patrons name them.
Right.
Ziggy and Bubbles. Yeah. And then I came in one morning on a Monday, and I realized there were 3 fish in there. And then there were more and more. And now we don't know how many are in there, but the family has grown.
And they're thriving.
They are thriving. And Bubbles and Ziggy are alive and well still. They are still in there. And it's just so fun. Again, so much of what we do here is just trying to add a little bit of the unexpected and a little bit of joy.
Totally.
To what is already a great experience when you come to the libriary. That's a great day anyway. But to add something that you don't expect, it's just one of those added bonuses.
That's what I love about Cross Lanes too. All right. Another new thing this year is your revamped teen zone. So tell us how that came about.
So where we're sitting right now, actually, is where our teen zone used to be.
Gotcha.
And from the time that I got here, I really wanted to rethink it, but it was just a matter of, what are the priorities?
Yeah.
And we were very blessed to receive a generous donation that we were able to put toward re-envisioning that space. And so we actually moved it entirely, and now we have a great space that really feels tailor-made for our kids that come after school. We're right next to the middle school. And we have a gaming system over there. We have all kinds of board games. We've decorated it in a way that's going to feel comfortable.
Right.
And perhaps most importantly, it's in line of sight.
Right.
So, we can keep an eye on things. We have a great group of after schoolers here, but sometimes you just need a little supervision.
Yeah.
And, but we worked really hard to try to, get in their heads and think what was going to feel comfortable and feel inviting to them.
Right.
And we do see them using it a lot more.
Nice.
And we've gotten a lot of great feedback on it. So cool. I'm glad that we were able to do that for them.
Yay. That's great. Awesome. Okay. So are there any other programs that you're excited about for November and beyond that you're going to be putting on?
So as the manager, I do some programming, but I tend to think in like the bigger project terms.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot that we're in the planning stages of. We're working on, as you mentioned, we did our teen zone recently. Now we're looking at branching off into doing our children's area and re-envisioning that.
Gotcha.
So we have some preliminary plans for that, just to revitalize that. And then the thing that I'm perhaps most excited about is just adding more interactive types of things. At the main library, of course, they have the Idea Lab.
Right.
And at a branch library, you don't really have the infrastructure or the footprint to be able to do something like that. But I'm really passionate about that kind of equipment and making and introducing people to those kinds of technologies. And so we've been thinking for a long time about how we were going to incorporate that. And we recently received a donation that's going to allow us to put that into practice.
Awesome.
And so we're looking at ways that we can incorporate that and making some new technologies available for programming and allowing the public to see that. So things like laser cutting and sublimation printing.
Cool.
And things like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of what I do is because I'm interested in it.
Right.
So why not just get paid for that?
Yeah, totally.
So that's the next phase. That's what we're doing. And then, of course, expanding the hydroponic garden and making that something that the public can actually make use of. And so, there's a lot of great things rattling around here.
A lot of things that are growing.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see where the year takes us, but we are in a great position to do some really positive things.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, Brittany, for spending time with me today.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out and listening to us.
All right. So we're going to have more with Stan at the studio right after this.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary. But I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry I almost killed you. Kids with learning and attention issues are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand. Learn more at understood.org.
One of the unique aspects of the Cross Lanes branch is its proximity to Andrew Jackson Middle School. Located just across the parking lot, the school brings in lots of young readers every day, around 3 o'clock or so each day during the school year. So the number of visitors to the Cross Lanes branch skews much younger than most other libraries in the KCPL system, which makes it an important cog in learning, working hand in hand with the school itself. I'd like to thank Cross Lanes branch manager Brittany Addis and branch administrative specialist Jessica Plants for sitting down with correspondent Jai Ravine and filling us in on the KCPL branch library in Cross Lanes. I'm Stan Howe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on More Than Books, Stories from the Kanawha County Public Library.